What's going on, everyone? Austin Chum Place here, and today I'm going to be going over how you can get better weapons for you to use in Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. In this video, I'm going to be going over a few locations of some of my favorite weapons that you can be using throughout your journey, that you can fuse things with, the importance of unfusing very specific things, and also on top of that, we're going to be talking about how to build a super powerful weapon that can pretty much just KO a lot of enemies very easily. The first thing I want to talk about is any strong weapon that you have, you can come over here to the Hyrule Field Skyview Tower. This is a monster encampment, and located right here, right by this path going down, is going to be a large spiked ball. That large spiked ball is going to be fantastic for doing a good amount of damage on enemies, as well as destroying boulders. The spiked iron ball is a stat of 15, as you can see right here. The only thing that would be better is if you had cobble crushers. The cobble crushers are more specifically designed for like breaking rocks and stuff. This I use as an all-around powerful, easy 29 damage on a Royal Claymore, or if I were to go ahead and put it on just like a regular sturdy thick stick of a stat 7, then that's going to be 24. It's going to be hard to break that power 30 threshold without defeating harder enemies. And that's something you need to know. Fuse isn't an optional thing in this game. If you want strong weapons, you have to defeat strong enemies and then use their drops to get better weapons. So typically what I do is whatever weapon that I have, like this Royal Claymore that has a power of 14, it's so funny to see it. It's fallen from grace. This gnarled wooden stick with durability up, power of 14, is just as strong as a Royal Claymore, and I think that's pretty hysterical. I'm going to choose Fuse before I even fast travel there, because I just like to get in, get the item I want, and get out. Soon as you spawn in, especially if you're doing it at night, all the enemies are going to be asleep. If you have stealth armor, it makes it easier. Come over here, attach it, you're done. Now, there are lots of enemy encampments that you can do this exact thing at. Not just the Hyrule Skyview Tower. Anytime that you see this exact pattern, that means that there's going to be a spiked wall around it. I know that there's going to be one located right here in Necluda, just south of this tower. Here we can find ourselves a spiked ball as well. I'm going to go ahead and grab that one. Let's go ahead and fuse this giant spiked ball. So that spiked ball and spiked balls in general that give you a base 15 fuse are great for just whatever random weapons you have. But once you have your stamina up, or, you know, some stamina food, you can actually get one of my favorite go-to weapons that I'm using all the time with a base power of 60 that respawns all the time. And that's going to be this Captian 4 blade, which is a Mighty Zonite longsword and a Captain Construct 4 horn. Getting both of these things is very simple. They're going to respawn regularly here on the Zonite Forge Island. However, this is really high up in the air, so you have two options. One is from here, the North Necluda Sky Archipelago, just right of the Great Sky Island. You can come from here if you have the Zora armor. You can glide over here, which is a long waterfall, and then just make your way a short way over. The other way, if you don't have the Zora armor, which the only reason I haven't gotten it is because I saving that for a video, is coming over here to Valor Island. This is one of the 3 locations that you're going to be getting a piece of the glide armor, which I made a video on that. Long story short, go to Mount Lanayru, come over here. You don't need to go to the top of the structure. You're going to go to the bottom. It's located right here. There's a skydive challenge, and when you accept the skydive challenge, he's going to be fast traveling you to the top of the island, which is here at 2,624 meters in the air, which is extraordinarily high. This is one of the highest structures in the entire game. So once you're up here, put down a travel medallion. That way you can get pretty much anywhere as long as you have enough stamina. And Tulin. Tulin is pretty much a given at this point. All you need to do now is, 1, optionally, cook some stamina food if you don't have 4 rings of stamina. Put down a fast travel marker, and over there, that's our destination. That giant, almost potted plant looking thing, that is the Zonite Forge Island. You don't need to land at the top, you just need to land at the bottom. And if you can't reach the bottom, then you can reach that island that I was talking about that you could swim up before. That island has a platform with rockets that will bring you right over, no problem. I'm not going to demonstrate that because it's just 4 minutes of me flying over there. In order to get into this island, all you need to do is activate the hand thing at the front, and then these are going to be winds. They're going to bring you up. You come down the bottom, there's a big laser grid. That's pretty much self-explanatory. There's also wind. If you have the skydive armor, it's very easy. Once you're down here, there's a shrine, and once you activate the shrine, then the door to down here is going to be open, so you never have to do the laser grid thing again. Door is located right over there. Leaving the shrine, you're going to find on the ground, I already grabbed them, and they haven't respawned yet, a mighty construct bow, which isn't the best. What's the power of this? 24. Oh, and I got quick shot, so that's great. I'm going to use that for this video. And then also right here, you're going to be able to find a Mighty Zonaite sword, and I believe also right here is the Mighty Zonaite spear. And then from here, we're going to make our way to the staircase. At the top of the staircase, if you walk around the path, right about here, there's going to be Zonaite weapons just sitting on the floor, which is going to include the Mighty Zonaite longsword, which means that it's a two-handed weapon. And I think there's a second Mighty Zonaite sword here. Now, as far as Captain Construct 4 horns, if you implement the same trick as far as using the travel medallion, you're actually able to float all the way over here to Wellspring Island and activate one of the shrines here. The higher up area is going to be the end of the Zora quest line, which in theory, you could just go there anytime. You just can't activate that area yet until you progress in the story for that. But you can come here to the shrine and actually make your job with the Zora stuff easier later on. This area is jam-packed with high-level constructs, including a Captain 4. There's a Flux right there. So I think that's a Flux 3. So you get a Flux Core Pounder if you need. Here we go. These guys. Nope, those aren't Captain 4s. I think those are Soldier 4s. Soldier Construct 3s. So those ones aren't bad either. Basically, there's two classes. There's Soldier and there's Captain. The Captains have better heads. Oh, he has a sturdy, thick stick. Very nice. But taking these guys down, you're going to get better tops. I actually want this drop, so I'm going to go ahead and take this guy out. And here's that Soldier Construct 3 horn, fuse power of 18. So now that's better than what we already have. So that power 18 bottom, and let's go for the one-handed sword. And this 10 sword is going to be 38 because it gets a plus 10 because it's a Zonaite sword mixed with a construct horn. So because of that, now we have a power 38. We used a 29 to get a 38. It's like that. And then if you want to find the captains on there, go for it. But I know they're very easily found right next to the Great Plateau. Right here is a whole chunk of Sky Island that fell that has a captain level 4. I just knocked him out. I don't think he's going to be there. Let's see if we can see him from the shrine. Hey, guy, while you're distracted, let's get that headshot in. Thank you. So that silver bokoblin horn has a fuse power of 31. He also dropped a gnarled wooden stick. Let's pick up that gnarled wooden stick. We go ahead, drop that on the floor, and then we fuse that with his horn. And now we just made a power 53 weapon. The two things that he dropped, put them together. Oh, and I have attack up 8 on it. Fantastic. Here's that Zonai encampment I was talking about with the constructs, but we haven't had a blood moon, so they haven't spawned back in. Bottom line is, there's a Captain 4 here. He takes a while to take down, but once you take him down, you're going to get this power 60 weapon. And weapons like this that are in the 50s to 60s, this is stuff that I use regularly. Now, granted, while I'm walking around, I'm not going to use this on a red bokoblin. I'm going to come over here and grab this, you know, level 40 spear or level 8 spear and just jab him a few times and I'm good. I also have my ice weapon to be able to shoot ice. I have my fire weapon to shoot fire. I have my axe to be able to chop down trees. And then I have a couple of spiked iron balls that I either use for damage or mostly for rocks. Now that I've talked about the core concept of find stuff on the ground, put it together, knock things out, put it together, you're good for everyday weapons. Now let's talk about climbing the ladder to get some of the most powerful weapons in the game. And this is going to involve defeating Lynels. Now hang on, defeating Lynels isn't that hard. It's really not. You just need a few things. One, I'm going to recommend Barbarian armor. But if you don't have the Barbarian armor leveled up, for this video, I'm gonna be using the Phantom armor. You need any bow. If you have a multi-shot bow, it gets significantly easier. But to start off with, I'm just gonna be using this Mighty Construct bow that I just picked up at the forge. Any shield that you want, but if you have the Hylian shield, you might as well use that. And whatever powerful weapon that you want, it does not matter the current durability. So I'm gonna be using this Power 60 Captain Blade. As far as meals, if you've been following my videos on how to recover efficiently, then you probably have a whole bunch of meat skewers and not a lot of hearts. Bottom line is, during a blood moon, last 30 seconds before the blood moon happens, cook a whole bunch of meat, make it efficient. Now there are 4 classes of Lynel in this game. To start off with, I'm going to be talking about the base level Lynel. That's where you should be starting off if you're not good with defeating Lynels, or if you played Breath of the Wild, but it's been a while, then you're gonna wanna do this. First of all, the Sage Tulin is gonna make this so much easier because he'll just occasionally get headshots on Lynels, which is never expected, but always appreciated. This right here is a base level Lynel. You can tell because he has dark red hair and he's very stunning looking in my opinion. Now here's the thing. They are not going to be attacking you until you pull out a weapon. I'm starting to think that the camera is considered a weapon. It is. Okay, don't pull your camera out like I did. Once you get closer, he's then going to pull his weapon out. Now is your perfect time to put down a save. I want you to practice on this Lynel. I don't want you to just try to defeat him. I want you to practice on him. And I want you to do this battle until you're actually good at it. A friend of mine who didn't play a lot of Breath of the Wild, before game release, I brought him over and I was like, hey, we're gonna practice on a Lynel. I'm gonna be with you and I'm gonna give you some advice on what to do here. This is a spear Lynel, one of the easiest ones. He's gonna be coming at you with his spear and there's a variety of attacks. This is his charge attack, which you could choose to dodge out of the way with a perfect time dodge. You probably did the shrine on how to do that. He's gonna be doing this big wide swing. And all of this right now, I'm just flurry rushing to avoid the damage. The most important part is that I'm just holding my shield in front of me, because as long as I have my shield out, most attacks don't hurt you. In fact, the only attack that can hurt you is when he's going to be doing his downward pound force with fireball thing, and the only thing that hurts you is you're going to block the downward force of the weapon, but not of the area of effect damage. Taking down a Lynel is easy. All you need to do is deflect his attack, and then after you deflect his attack, you're going to want to take out your bow quickly and get a headshot. There's also going to be a sound when you land that headshot to let you know that he's then going to be stunned. Once you start pulling back, let go of ZR, that way you're going to instantly fire as soon as you're ready. You don't want to focus on where his face is, but after seeing his pattern, you're going to focus on where his face is going to move to. It typically moves up just a little bit. This is the sky attack. So these you could run away from, or you could just parry them. There's really no advantage on parrying them. I'd recommend just running away. Like if you parry that, you're just going to avoid damage and remain still. But when he comes at you, you want to focus right on where his face is. And you see how his face moves up ever so slightly right there? That's where you're going to want to be aiming. Also, something you need to keep in mind of, if you go to do this and you land on the ground and you pull your bow out and you miss or whatever, when you hold the shield button, you're not shielding. You're just running around with your bow and arrow. Because of that, you have to press B to put it away and actually take the shield out. So, hey buddy, you ready? That's his new headbutt attack. You want to take out your bow and arrow, and you want to land a headshot. Now that you're on his back, if you haven't put on your attack armor, this is a reminder to put on your attack armor. If you don't have attack up armor, you should have watched my video on how to get the Barbarian or the Phantom armor. Until you have the Barbarian armor upgraded to level 2, which requires defeating Lynels, it's not going to be better than the Phantom armor. You might as well wear the Phantom armor. There is no set bonus, you're just going to have attack up 3. Now is also the time that you want to take out your most powerful weapon. Now here's the thing, when you're attacking the back of his head, you're not actually going to be damaging your weapon. So because of that, you just feel free to go ham on him. So you want to do these attacks, and then optionally, After you're bucked off, you can then pull out your bow and arrow again and land a few more headshots. I'd recommend not doing this quite yet. So it took me how many meals to land my first perfect shot? I'm not happy with that, so I'm gonna go ahead and reload my save. And this is what I mean when I say practicing on how to take down a Lynel. This is a level 1 Lynel. It's not that difficult to take down. Well, for me it isn't, but I've played a lot of Breath of the Wild and the mechanics are extremely similar. By the way, if you try to pull out your bow and arrow here, there's a high likelihood you're not going to be able to do it in time. Also, I realized that I had quick shot on this bow, and because of that, I don't want that much of an advantage for this video. I'm gonna go to a really bad bow. Pull out your weapon, and then he's gonna start with an attack. Parry his attack. Focus on his head. Oh, Talon got the headshot. Thanks, buddy. See, that's what I mean. Talon's the best. He's just gonna get these random headshots and help you out. After you're bucked off, your weapon is put away, so you can feel free to just take your shield out again. You don't run into that situation that you had with having your bow out before, because you're gonna be able to just whip out your shield and do your parry just fine. I've also noticed in this game they changed how long you're allowed to attack the back of his head for. The first time you can get all, 5 or 6 hits in, but after that, it limits you to like 3 or 4. So it's a little rough like that. Anyways, yeah, you just want to continue on, do the exact same thing. If you want to get those pop shots on the back of the head, you're more than welcome to, but I have a better strategy for that I'm going to talk about once we're done with this red Lynel here. I'm also using my left thumb to then rotate the camera around because I want to be facing the back of him. Oh, here's the fireball attack, finally. If you're in an area with dry grass, this is then going to make an updraft, which then you can go into bullet time and get an easy headshot on him. There we go. Land on him. Attack him, and there you go. Now here's the thing. We're gonna start climbing the Lynel ladder here. The first thing is you need to take down enough Lynels to actually upgrade your barbarian armor, which is going to be 6 horns and 6 mace. So you need to take down 6 Lynels. You see how we just found a Lynel bow? This is what's going to make this dramatically easier. I know that I just did the aiming and I made it look super easy, right? Now that you have this Lynel bow, you're now going to be doing 3 shots. They're only doing 10 damage, but you're not doing this for damage. You're doing this to be able to land 3 different hits. So your window of opportunity now has more grace room. There's going to be another Lynel located right here at the West Hyrule Plains. And then there's also going to be one from the Hyrule Ridge once you go down over here. It's right next to a very visible shrine. But before you do your next Lynel, we're now going to build you a better weapon. And that's going to be pretty easy to do. You need to make your way to the top part of Hyrule Castle. In order to get up to the castle, it's really pretty easy. Right before you make your way to the castle, past the first gatehouse, I just came here and then just climbed straight up the wall right here. You're gonna see these 2 squares. These are building supplies. All we're going to need is a 4x4, like this one right here. Take out your balloon and a flame emitter. And then if you have a stick, right now is a great time to pull it out because you're gonna be able to use a stick to prolong how long you're gonna be able to float in the air. I already have this saved as an auto build. I took the spike off of my gnarled stick and now I'm just gonna use this. Once my battery is almost exhausted, I'm just gonna swipe at this, make sure I'm close enough to the balloon, that way the heat from my stick is still gonna be going in there. Wait till I'm at 2 portions of battery, turn it back on, put my stick away. And all you need to do from looking at the front of the castle, this left spire over here on the map, it's going to be located over here. That's Zelda's study. That's where we're going to make our way to. From Zelda's study, we're not actually going to go into her study, but right here, this is one of the locations that I like to get a claymore from. That's a knight's claymore. It's not a royal claymore, but it's better than nothing. Go to Princess Zelda's room, and then we're going to look through this door right here. And right here is going to be the most powerful base weapon that you can have in the game, the Royal Guard's Claymore. Now, the Royal Guard's weapons are known for having absolutely deplorable durability, but they have a neat little thing that says it holds massive destructive power just before it breaks. So because of that, I'm going to go ahead, equip it, find whatever enemy here that I want to take down and take them down. Royal Guard's Claymore is badly damaged. I got the pop-up I wanted. So right now, my most powerful fuse is going to be this silver Bokoblin horn. I want to take the fuse off of there and put it on this Royal Guard's Claymore that you see just doubled its damage to now 64. In order to unfuse your items, you're going to make your way to Tarrytown. Here inside of Tarrytown, we're going to make our way over to this little baby Goron. You may remember him, Pelison. We brought him and his dad here. He owns the Break Apart shop. For the low price of 20 rupees, you're going to be able to take whatever fused item that you have and unfuse it. You want me to break this down? Go ahead. You could also use this opportunity to get rods from Wizrobes and then detach their gems for a little bit of profit on that. That's that gnarled wooden stick and that silver Bokoblin horn. My Royal Guard's Claymore, we're now gonna fuse it with the silver Bokoblin horn, and now we have a weapon with a power of 63. Hi, it's Future Austin, and past Austin, while he was recording, he forgot to mention that now that it's 63, you actually have to hit a few things to break down the durability, and then 3 hits before the durability is gone, just like it said before when it was 64. It's then going to be doubled, so that 63 is then gonna be 126. He's gonna realize that later, but I'm just letting you know now. So now with your slightly more powerful weapon, but more importantly, you now have a 3-shot bow, you can now go around to the different locations of base level Lynels. Farm them up and get all of your barbarian armor to level 3. Now you no longer need the phantom armor for anything. And Lynel locations are these 3 that I showed you here at Hyrule Ridge, number 1, 2, and 3. From that Hyrule Ridge, if you were to cross slightly over Tanagar Canyon, you're gonna have one right here. For reference, this is the location of the Lucky Clover Gazette. This one is in a cold area, so be sure to make a cold resistance food. That way you could still wear your attack up armor. You're gonna have one here in Deep Akala, located right here where he was in the last game. For reference, here is going to be the East Akala stable. And between those 5 Lynels, as soon as a blood moon happens, you're going to be able to get more parts. Now we're going to make our way onto blue Lynels because you're doing a good job. I believe in you. You got this. Blue Lynels, easier to track, are going to be located in little strings of 3, including right here from Lanayru Wetlands, right by this archipelago, and as well as up here on top of this ridge, and then also overlooking on the Nehru Heights. There's going to be 3 located right here in the Farron Grasslands. From the Highlands stable, as you're making your way through, at the bottom of this valley is going to be one. You keep going down, and then here inside of these wetlands, and then you head up the ridge, and then here on top of the Starly Plateau, although this is probably easier from the Great Plateau, there's going to be your 3rd in a row. There's a few more spread throughout the map, including in Hebra, you're going to be having one right here. Here's the secret hot springs, and here's Rito Village down here. So there you go, mark that on your map. Okay, I lied, that's the only other one random one. So there's 7 in total. You're gonna need 9 saber horns and 9 mace horns. So you're gonna need to defeat at least 9 in total. But after we defeat our first one, we're gonna be then upgrading our weapon again. So let's go ahead and take on a blue Lynel. Before we start the fight, we wanna put down a save. And here's a neat little trick if you're approaching one of them from high up and he doesn't spot you, which he technically did not spot us because he still has question mark. You can actually land on his back. Friendly reminder before you begin to now equip your 3-shot bow, equip your barbarian armor, and make sure you have a strong shield. Make sure you have your your big floppy sword. And then as soon as you land on him, you're gonna be able to do some damage. Now that you have a 3-shot bow, you're gonna be able to land this headshot a lot easier. If you land all the headshots like that, then you're going to be doing, you know, that 20 more damage, but that really isn't why we're doing this 3-shot bow in the first place. Also, if you didn't upgrade your barbarian armor, then he does have the capability of one-shotting you and bypassing the anti-one-shot rule. So be careful with that. Just deflect his attacks. Wait for your opening. If you... Oh, thanks, Tullen. I was about to say, if you miss, get ready to jump back. That way he doesn't swipe at you before you have the opportunity to whip your shield out and put your bow away. Here comes the fire. You can deflect the fire, but again, those updrafts, why would you waste an updraft? Nice. Oh, a blood moon is happening right now. So that's neat. Can I get like a really amazing thumbnail right now? Okay, that was good enough. Because you're in this section, even though you defeated this Lynel, he isn't going to instantly respawn. Now, here's the thing. You just got a mighty Lynel bow, which is going to be better than the current 3-shot bow you have. So if you have some garbage bow, like this Zonite bow, I'm going to keep the quick shot bow here. We have 3 shots that do 20 damage. This can have the enchantment of 5-shot. It's unlikely. I did get one right here. So that's a 5-shot Lynel bow. So that's doing 100 damage if all 5 hits hit. And you're going to get yourself a better shield. This is a mighty Lynel shield. I'm going to go ahead and drop my almost broken one. There we go. Knight's Broadsword, not a great weapon. I'm not going to pick it up. You know what it's time for now? The break-apart shop. So now because we're still using this Royal Guard Claymore that still holds destructive power right before it breaks, we're still going to be using that. And because we're only attacking the back of Lynel heads, there's no durability damage done to the weapon. Never ever equip it during daily battle. This is now just your Lynel weapon. Get the Royal Guard's Claymore back, also your Silverbow Goblin Horn, which is nice. And now your blue-maned Lynel Saber Horn that you just got, that's now a fuse power of 33. So when we drop that on the floor and fuse that, we're now looking at a weapon with a power of 65. I now just realized that when I refused it, it didn't get the bonus again. So we were only doing half the damage. So I need to go around and hit some things. And also, we're gonna make our way onto white Lynels. Right next to Tarrytown, right here on the plains, is gonna be a white Lynel. I'm gonna go after that guy. Here's our white Lynel off in the distance. Just like the blue Lynel, the white Lynel can also bypass the anti-one-shot rule. So, in that case, make sure you put down a save, and we're gonna practice on him a little bit. Also, I need to do some durability damage to this, so I'm not going to be doing the shield block. I'm going to be doing some flurry rushes to start off with. So I'm going to do this until it says that my weapon is badly damaged. And right now it's a power of 65. I'm gonna stop. Now it's a power of 130. Right now is when I want to put down a save, because now my weapon is at the perfect amount of durability. I think it only has 1 or 2 hits left. If during this battle I accidentally hit it on the ground or hit him in a flurry rush, it's going to break and I'm going to lose my very powerful, what was the number? 130 weapon. So now we're gonna go back to shield bashing, take out our 3-shot bow, climb on his back, and now you're gonna hear that there's a new critical hit sound to let you know you're inflicting massive amounts of damage. I haven't gone through all of the weapons and all of the bases in the game, but having a 32 that then doubles the power is absolutely enormous. Get those hits in. I'd say like the only downside of this weapon, well, obviously you could only use it for Lynels, but also the fact that every time that you pull it out, you're gonna have that pop-up that says that it's badly damaged, and then on your stat screen, it's gonna be blinking red. That may irk you. But if that's your biggest drawback to having one of the most powerful weapons in the game, I'm okay with that. The reason I did 2 shots right there, well, 1, that's all I needed to defeat him. But also, if you're on his back and you do more hits than you need, you'll do a jump attack, which can then destroy your weapon. If that does happen, reload your save. If you didn't do a clean battle here, reload from your save until you get good. Practice on them. Nice. 3 shots of 32 damage. Not the best. I have a 3-shot of 39, but I'm waiting for that 5-shot Savage Lynel bow, because we all know that that one's money. And you get a Savage Lynel shield, which I think might be one of the best things to put on the Hylian shield, because now when you do your parry damage, it's actually going to be doing damage to them, and your white main Lynel Saberhorn. Right now our weapon is the blue main Lynel Saberhorn, and now we're about to upgrade it again back at Tarrytown. So our power 130 blue mained Lynel blade. I just love the pop sound that he makes. I'm going to be using this Lynel Saberhorn in order to upgrade my barbarian armor. Well, I'm not, but you are. And now our white mained Lynel Saberhorn. Let me just tell you, the way this looks is so awesome. Look at that bad boy with the black Hylian crest on it. I mean, the silver one looks pretty cool too, but come on. How do you not love Link's getup right now? Look at this sword. Plus on his back, that's ferocious. There are only 3 white maned Lynels in the overworld. One is right here, the one that we just took down. One is going to be located here in Faron on the Kama Plateau, right next to Korta Lake. And then one is going to be located right here at the Gerudo Highlands. You can tell that that battle didn't go so well. The white main Lynel is not the most powerful Lynel in the game. There is a stronger Lynel that you can take down. It requires going into the depths. So, I'm sure you're all familiar with the Coliseum, one of the locations of the most powerful Lynels in Breath of the Wild. Well, in Tears of the Kingdom, there's a Gleeok there. However, in the depths is the floating Coliseum. In addition, is right next to him a blue main Lynel, but he's a special blue main Lynel because he has armor, so I want to go over that briefly. So if we look at the overworld, we have the outskirts stable here. Right next to there is that shrine, and underneath that is the opposite of that word, Lightroot. And here's a fun thing. Underneath a good amount of the stables are Lynels. And here is our armored Lynel. Nope, he's just considered regular Lynel. Okay. So these guys are going to inflict gloom damage. Gloom damage is harder to recover from. You have to cook food with Sundalions. I'm not going to make that food right now because I'm not going to get hit. But let's talk about how you defeat his armor. First thing you want to do is put down a save. I would have liked to have done a save before I got hit with one gloom hit, but that's fine. Because of that, that's where our giant spiked balls come into place. If you have it on a royal claymore, fantastic. If not, on a stick is literally fine. Our first portion of the battle, you can't do the parry with the arrow. You have to do a flurry rush. Whip this out, and now you see we're getting rid of his yellow health bar. That last attack missed because he went too far. Telling you're not doing any damage right now, friend. That's going to be the last hit that we need. Now we're going to mount him, and we're going to take out our new, very powerful 152 white maned Lynel blade. And just watch his health melt. Yeah, he's almost dead already. Oh, you can do your fireballs? Fine, do your fireballs. Let's go for the parry. Actually, you know what? We'll just headshot him for the victory. There we go. Also, he's going to be dropping armor piece, which then you could put on a shield to make it stronger. So if I go ahead and fuse this with the shield, you gain plus 10, which is nice. Also, these guys are going to be dropping crystallized shards, which you can use to upgrade your battery. That's the reason I like farming Lynels down here. Now you know how to take care of an armored Lynel. Now we're going to make our way to the floating Coliseum, which, as you could possibly imagine, is surrounded by water. So either make a flying machine or find a way to glide over, or what I did, which is just climb up the side and drop a travel medallion. Every blood moon, I come here and I do this floating Coliseum. Your first time coming here, there's going to be a chest here in the middle, and it's going to have a whole bunch of red stuff around it. And once you get close, this goes up, and you have your first Lynel showing up. Now here's a fun thing. Because he's so far away, if you have a surplus of key size, you can now fuse a key size and loose it, and you'll automatically get a headshot on that first one. Run over. And now I'm just gonna... There we go. He's done. Your first time going through here, I'm gonna recommend do it until you do it clean. Even a good practice that I do now, after I pick up the drops, including any weapons that I want, I then put down the save. Because any drops that are on the floor, you're not allowed to pick those up when you reload. But you're going to be starting off against your next battle. Also, to see if it's a 5-shot bow, I like to take out this 3-shot 20. I'm going to equip it, stand over it. If I see that the red arrow is there, that means it's not as good. Which if it was a 5-shot 20, then it would have an arrow up. Now, one of the reasons I put the travel medallion there, after you reload your save, you have a small grace window if you need to go away and cook gloom food or something. But my recommendation is do it till you get good. You could also use this to farm the monster parts that you need in order to get the upgrade for the barbarian armor. Then you're going to be in a position like me that the only thing preventing you from upgrading it further is finding more bladed rhino beetles. You're also going to be finding little windows of opportunity to try to get arrow shots in while he's doing his various attacks. So on a white main Lynel, we're now doing about half of his health in a single flurry session on his back. Oh, I didn't realize that that would have hurt me. Hey, look at that. Fairies restore gloom. That's nice to know. This is gonna be like one hit. One hit. Now that right there is going to be the silver Lynel. The last time I was here, I faced an armored Lynel. I don't know if he's after this or what's going on. This guy, as you can tell by the horn on his head, is a different class of Lynel. He is much stronger than the ones that you faced previously. You could also tell because I did maybe a third, maybe a quarter of his health. Don't worry, he didn't break the Hylian shield. He broke the Savage Lynel shield that was on top of the Hylian shield. And there we go. That's going to be a silver Lynel taken down. But now, we're going to be facing an armored silver Lynel. Also, this is a better bow. I want to pick that up. And a better shield. I want to pick that up. And then I'm going to put down my save. Because these guys can be, they can be a little spicy, not going to lie. Okay, he's going to be doing a charge attack on me. Here's my flurry rush. If we get 4 hits, we're usually good. Nope, he moved out of the way too quickly. Flurry rush. Climb onto his back. White main Lynel blade. And now that we've taken off his armor, he's pretty much the same Lynel that he was. Be careful of his big spin attack. That could be pretty difficult to parry. Now you could have, if you wanted to, fast traveled away upon yoinking your first silver Lynel horn. You didn't have to do this battle, but you know, you're in the process of getting good, so you might as well, right? That's what I'm talking about. You can accidentally do that jump attack off. I've just lost one more durability of this weapon. There's that silver Lynel saber horn that I was talking about. That bad boy, that's a lot of damage. Plus crystallized charges, which are fantastic. Because of how much I'm going through these Lynels, it's just a matter of like, oh, well, which bow has the least amount of durability? I'll get rid of that. And you know that weapon I've been using the whole time to actually be taking down the armor? It's this exact weapon right here from this guy, which is the Royal Claymore with the spiked ball. This one has full durability though, so I want that. And then following this entire strategy, congratulations, you're going to be rewarded with one of the best items in the game. Majora's Mask. Makes it so that enemies don't attack you until you initiate combat, just the way Lynels do. All that's left is for you to go to Tarry Town, you take off this white maned Lynel Saberhorn, and you attach a silver Lynel Saberhorn, and then you're gonna have a power 174 weapon, just like this, which this thing obliterates Lynels. You don't want to use it on anything else because that durability issue. Hey, it's Austin on the next day now, and I realized we could actually make this sword better and stronger if we wanted to. All we need to do is go over to the Octoroks who are going to be repairing things for us. The Rock Octoroks. If you have a Rock Octorok suck in a weapon and then he spits it out, it's going to replenish the durability, and then it's also going to give it a modifier. So what we're going to do is, number one, make sure Tulin is off. In fact, any ally that you have who's going to be able to damage enemies, because this guy only has 1 health, we don't want him to actually, you know, die. Just take your weapon, drop it down on the floor. I already started doing this one, but let me explain. You see how right now my bonus is critical hit and it's a white bonus? You want to drop it so that you can get a white bonus. And it doesn't really matter what the bonus is going to be. Also, after you get your bonus, make sure you knock out that Octorok. And then you go to a second Octorok, like this one up here. You're now at your second Octorok. Great. You're going to put down a save in front of it, and as long as you have a white modifier, like this white critical hit down here, we're going to be dropping it. Because supposedly, for the higher attack up number is only available on a gold modifier. I got durability up. I don't want that. We're going to reload from our last save. And that's where you could get what is supposedly the highest modifier right now, which is plus 10 attack. You can get critical hit. The only thing is, I don't actually know if critical hit is going to be better or not. We have no way of telling. Like, I grabbed the champion's tunic and then I upgraded it, or whatever the champion's tunic is called now, which I think is called the Tunic of Memories. Long throw, don't want that. And it no longer shows you enemy HP, and there's a new version of the tunic, and I tried that, and I tried upgrading that, and as far as I can tell, there's no way currently to see enemy HP. I might be wrong. It looks like we're gonna have to just, you know, take screenshots and do pixel math on which is better, attack up 10 or critical hit. Long throw? Okay, I'm just gonna keep reloading. Oh, we got plus 9. We're almost there. Finally got it. Attack up 10. Of course, now its durability is replenished, as you could tell by that little gold star down there. So now we have to go hit some things. Also, make sure you take out this Octorok, that way he could respawn for the next Blood Moon and help you out with another weapon then. Okay, let's try to get this weapon damaged. Come on, guy. Thank you. Perfect. Badly damaged. What's our attack at now? 194. I don't know if it can get stronger than that. This weapon can't get stronger. As far as I found, this is the strongest fuse in the game. There might be something else that we don't know about. It's still release week. But for now, having a power 194 weapon that could take down Lynels, and then if you just want to use it for regular use, go replenish it, roll that attack up plus 10, use it on a few enemies, and then reserve it once again as your Lynel killer. I also, you know, keep this one in the back just in case that one breaks. I'm probably going to get rid of this one though, because no reason to have 2 of them in the inventory. Oh boy, he melts. He melts like a hot Lynel knife through butter. There you go. How to get yourself Lynel parts, farm up Lynel parts, get the barbarian armor, get a whole bunch of nice weapons that you're going to be using throughout your whole journey, get the most powerful weapon that we know of so far in the game. If there's something stronger, I'm going to let you know about it. But for now, I think 194 is pretty darn good. Guys, if you found this entire guide helpful and you made it to the end, I think a like is in order. And I thank you so much for being here and watching this full video, because I love doing stuff like this and figuring this out. This is what this channel is about. And for more of it, hit the subscribe button. It's the best way to show your support for the channel. Thank you so much for being here. Until next time, Austin John out.